here I am with my sister-in-law, Mary Willits, who used to be Mary White.
Yes.
And she has done different knitting and crocheting and all the different things through her time as a mother and grandmother, right?
Right. That's right.
You remember when you knitted?
Yes, I do. When it was real popular, it was probably in the 70s, though.
Yeah, but that was cool, wasn't it? You had the spool stuff.
Yes, I did a lot of stuff. Our cat used to like to play with the yarn, particularly. No, I did. I knitted a lot of Afghans. That's the thing that you wear when you're cold. You sit and wrap up in it. It's like a quilt, but it's made out of wool.
Yeah, and you like knit two, purl two, something like that?
Yep. Depending upon the pattern, of course.
Oh.
I'm left-handed, but I always quilted and knitted with the right hand because it was too hard to. When you're left-handed, it's very difficult to do the pattern backwards to figure out what they're saying. So you have to do it with your right hand because they're all made for right-handed people.
Yeah, are you left-handed?
Yes.
You're like Rich. Rich and you are both left-handed.
Yes, so is David, and so is your mother. Sometimes we're together, and there's no right-handed people there.
At one time I was ambidextrous.
Yes, that's probably because of it.
Yeah, and then I chose right-handedness.
Yes, because it's easier. The world is right-handed.
Yep, and so when you were knitting, there is a right-handed style. I thought it was sort of like both hands.
No, it's actually you're throwing it with the right hand over the top, or whatever you're doing. It's easier if you're right-handed.
Oh.
So you have to change the pattern around. I'm not clever enough to change the pattern around.
Yeah, you have to keep thinking about it. They don't have left-handed instructions, huh?
No, they don't. They do, I suppose, somewhere, but they're very few and far between.
They didn't have computers then in the 70s that you could look at.
Yes, that's right. I suppose they have lots of stuff now.
Yeah, on the web, yeah.
No, but I'm not doing it. I've been quilting now.
Yeah, and that's when I said knitting for the subject matter, it was like anything to do with needlework type stuff.
Right.
As a male, you sort of lump it all into this big lump.
Yes, that's right.
Although I've done them.
Knitting takes two hands, but crocheting takes really one hand. You got one hand free, which is kind of nice.
What's the difference?
Well, you have to have two needles so there's a needle in each hand when you're knitting. But when you're crocheting, you only need one needle.
Oh.
And your other hand just kind of holds what you're working with, your material. As you make it bigger, you hold it in one hand. So it's kind of nice crocheting. You don't lose stitches. Knitting, the stitches can fall off the needles. You have to pay attention.
Yeah, or if you I've seen people that do that and they just keep going and they don't make mistakes.
Yes, some people are very good.
Are you? Were you when you did it?
I was when I did it. Yeah, I think I was. I like to do intricate things, making different things that were more work. Because it's boring just doing the same stitch. A lot of things you just do one stitch all across,
Oh.
But you can change colors with the yarn. But a lot of things, they don't really change the stitches.
Oh, okay.
So that gets kind of, you could watch television and do that kind of a thing.
Without making mistakes?
You wouldn't make a mistake because you're always doing the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you would sit and watch TV and knit?
Yeah, that's what's nice about it. Lots of times when guys are watching sports, the wife can sit there and not really pay attention. And he thinks he's got company, you see. So I know a lot of girls do that.
Oh, okay. So they're not quite into sports, but they do get a lot of knitting done.
That's right, or crocheting, whichever.
Okay, so that's another activity, crocheting.
Yes, that's one needle with a little hook on the end. See, knitting needles are just points, but crochet hooks got a point on the end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
A hook on the end, a hook like
a little hook. Yeah.
Hook. Yeah, instead of just a point.
I'm starting to recall all that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they usually use thinner thread, don't they?
Well, yes, but not always, because I never like that real thin stuff. Yeah, if you're really into making really tiny things, you use a tiny thread. I have a Christmas tree that I bought that's all full of crocheted snowflakes.
Oh.
They're small thread. It's real pretty. I didn't make it. Somebody else did. That was really clever, this person, because she could make real pretty little tiny things. That was nice.
Yeah, and you have different size. You have big, on both knitting and crocheting, don't you have different sized needles?
Yes, I have them all. Richard thought it was so funny because someone asked me if I had some needles, and we've moved so much, So he thought, well, she won't be able to find them because we can't find half the things because we moved. In fact, today he's down there finding all kinds of stuff, but I haven't seen in years. But I knew exactly where all my knitting needles were from the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
Or they're in my drawer. I kept them in my drawer in my dresser because they just all lay in there. You can put your clothes on top of them, They don't get in the way because they're, small. It's not like artist things where you have to have paints and everything.
Wow.
You just have brushes, let's say. Not like an artist. So you can just put them all in the bottom of your dresser drawer and forget about them. So I found the needles for this person that wanted to do a project, and she can't find them. No, she can't. No, she can't. He's kept saying. I went upstairs and got him, and he said, "Oh my gosh."
Oh my! Oh wow! That's awesome.
Especially when we can't find anything. The two of us can't remember where we put anything ever.
Oh, it's both of you now, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
he says, "What are we going to do if I get Alzheimer's?" He said. We'll both have it.
Just don't get it.
That's right.
Willits have a tendency not to get it.
That's good.
Okay. How about the whites? Did any your parents?
No, we
have
haven't.
Yeah.
None of us have had it. No.
Well, you have a good tendency not to have it then.
That's good. Yeah, that's awful.
So,
anyway,
why did you change to quilting? Yeah.
Well, it's I love colors. I'm like an artist that way, but I like fabric colors. So I love to put colors together. I usually like bright colors. Not too bright, not yellow and orange, but brighter reds and blues and greens. That's my kind of color palette. And I love the feel of fabric, more than yarn.
Oh, okay.
And of course, my cat died, so I didn't have anybody to play with when I did it.
So the cat dying who played with the yarn.
Right.
And so you sort of missed the cat, and you did something else in the vacuum there of.
Yes, your mother taught me how to quilt.
Oh.
Yeah, when I was like 20, she taught me how before I got married, almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't do it till after, till you were in your 30s,
I met
your
mother, yeah. No, I did it from 20 on. I've been doing it. In February, we're having a big retreat at my house. Well, about 15 girls here, sewing again. It's like a little sweatshop. And the girls just have to bring all the meals. So I assigned 3 of them to each meal. And then we, that's all they have to bring is a dish to pass,
Right.
So they're all anxious to come.
Okay.
And they go home at night. It isn't like going to a hotel or something.
Right.
Usually at those retreats that you go to, you stay at the hotel, but they all live around here, so it's not an inconvenience to go home.
Right, right.
They just leave their stuff here, and they go home and then come back. We do it for 3 days.
And each one starts at a different does a different section, or you all do the same one, or what?
Well, most of the time they do their own thing. You're right, but sometimes we have projects that we do together. Like lots of times we have quilts for soldiers.
You're right.
And so quilts for valor. Anyway, then we do a block. Everybody does a block, and then we put them all together and have a quilt shop. That way it gets done faster.
How do you did a quilt shop? A quilt what? I missed that.
A quilt block. I got my voice is kind of rough tonight.
Okay. Well, it sounds just wonderful.
It's a block. It's like a square. It's like 12 inches square. And every like 15 people do it. That's probably enough to do a whole quilt top. And then we can send that off to hospitals and places around the country.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. We have a girl that's in charge of that, and she sends them to places that need them.
Okay.
Because we still have soldiers that are being hurt over in all these places, yeah. You know, it's kind of nice.
It is. And it is nice doing that.
They started it during the Civil War, so it's a kind of a tradition with quilters to do things for soldiers.
Oh, so this goes way back, huh?
Right, yeah. Some of the Civil War quilts are very expensive if you get one.
Oh, okay.
Because they're quite an antique, you know. You know, it's really valuable. So there's something to keep. You know, a soldier should keep it. His family should anyway.
And tradition, yeah, and then.
Yeah, because as years go by,
it just adds more value.
More value. Yeah.
Yep. It sure does. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting, the types of material. Even the types of yarn and knitting has changed.
Mm-hmm.
There's more synthetics and different patterns that are quite nice. As modern times, they can do more things than what we used to have, you know.
Yes, they sure do have a lot more things out there.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. You can be very creative. And everybody has a talent. They just don't realize it. You know, they have to kind of think, what do you like to do? And you can express that with an art. You know, some people are good with mosaics, all kinds of different things.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So it's always, you know, and then you can do things for other people. I like things that people make better than bought things lots of times.
They are nice, aren't they?
Yeah. They're kind of special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for...
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, you did wonderful.
Okay, good.
And I'm so happy to talk to you for a little while, too. Thank you so much, Mary.
Yeah, I had a good time when you were here. I have to go over and see you someday.
Oh, we'll see you. We'll probably go over and visit again this summer.
I'm better now. I don't have
across
myself
Minnesota.
Off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm better. I can go places now.
We'll look forward to it.
Yeah, okay. Say hi to Terry again.
Terry and I love you.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.